What's doing, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you as always. If you've never been here before, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, check out one of the many videos I have up, or check out a bunch of them. Everybody else, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about, for those of you that have never been here before, I survived 17 years in the New York State Department of Corrections. That's the New York prison system, with most of my time served in maximum security prison systems. And before that, I was in a world of trouble. I was in juvenile detention centers. I was in rehabs. I was in mental institutions. I was in jails. I was in group homes. Obviously, this is not something to brag or boast about. You would be a fool to brag or boast about something like that. It's just the reality of what transpired in my life. Many reasons why it happened. There's many videos where I discuss it. But let's get to the point of this video today. Typically, I talk about the prison system, what transpires in the prison system. I follow some criminal cases here and there. But today we're going to talk about staying out of prison. I would like to say that this video is centered or directed at the youth. But it's not centered at the youth particularly, because it's centered at everyone. Even adults are making mistakes today that land them in prison. But I have a great love for the youth. I have a great love for people in general. I do not want them to experience the pain, the loss, the traumatic situation that I went through. And so if my words can help a youngster today, or help anyone today, stay out of the Department of Corrections, stay out of prison, and basically just stay out of trouble and walk the right way, then my job was successful here, even if my words affect one person. Because there's no way for you to really comprehend the pain that I lived through. I'm very surprised that I'm still alive today. Very surprised that I'm still functioning today, because it was unbearable. At many times it was unbearable. I say that living the crazy and wild and drug addicted life that I did, I had a little saying that said, dares, thrills, stupidity, high pain tolerance, intense aggression, whatever it was, I lived my life with it. Over the years, it brought me unimaginable joy, but it brought me unbearable pain. And it was not worth it. It was not worth it. Reality hit me. You see, I ran around the streets, and the reason why I did is irrelevant, because many people turn to the street life, to the drug life, to the criminal life for all sorts of reasons. You could say that you did it because you were sexually abused as a child. You could say you did it because you had no parents. You could say you turned to the street because your mom was an alcoholic or a crackhead, or you could say because you suffered depression, and all these reasons on why you turned into a negative life. So the reasons do have some importance, but we're going to talk about the decision to live that type of life. Okay, because we all are responsible for the choices and decisions we make. So many people that turn to that life or are getting involved in that life right now do it for all sorts of reasons. But when reality hit me, I was standing in front of the judge, and the judge said 12 and a half to 25 years. And I accepted that plea bargain. When I accepted that plea bargain, reality hit me in the face like a brick. And a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people don't understand what it's like when it's finally over like that, when the judge says you're going away. So I want to play a couple of clips for you before I get into speaking about something. I want you to see the reality of when you're finally put away. I want you to feel how quickly it could happen. Because everyone that I'm going to show you that it's happening to, believe it or not, is just like you or me. You know, it doesn't mean that they were bad people. It doesn't mean that they were evil people. Maybe some of them, but they were just like you and me. Watch this for a few minutes, and then I'm going to get back to talking at the end of it. But just watch this for a few minutes and check this out. Go ahead.
In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh, I sentence you for term of the rest of your natural life for the murder of Paul Murdaugh, whom you probably love so much. I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life. Those sentences will run consecutive.
New at 5, a Shelby County teenager who beat another teen to death will spend the rest of his life in prison. A judge handed down that sentence today to 18-year-old Eric Blackerby.
At the top tonight, 60 years. That's how long one man will spend in prison. 36-year-old Jeremiah Nervades pleaded guilty yesterday in a deadly 2022 road rage shooting. 29-year-old Andrew Rangel was shot and killed on I-35.
On both counts of felony DUI, great bodily injury, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 15 years and $5,100 provided upon the service of 15 years. And on the offense...
We begin with that deadly road rage shooting. Good evening. I'm Erica Sargent.
And I'm Brad Edwards. A few heated seconds between two drivers forever changed lives. Our Charlie DeMar joins us live from the Streamwood Police Department. Charlie.
Brad and Erica, one person was taken into the custody by the Streamwood Police Department. Tonight, we did speak to those who knew Scott Madison. They say whatever that argument was about, that Scott did not deserve to die on the side of a road.
Video circulating online shows Scott Madison outside his blue work truck arguing with the driver of a white Ford. Madison's arm appears to enter the car moments later. Madison is shot several times. He was 46.
That he didn't deserve it.
How powerful is that? People destroying their lives. People's lives just coming to an end like that. It's over. Most of those people I just showed you are never going to be out to experience the free world again. And reality hit them when that judge sentenced them. A lot of youth think it's all fun and games before that. You know, so what I tell you is if you are lost right now, right? And a lot of times when I go into the school, or even if you're watching right now, if I say to you and you're a youngster and I say to you, what do you want to be? What do you want to become with your life? What do you want to do? You know, and sometimes when I stand on stage in an auditorium and I speak to the youth, they raise their hands. The high school students, the junior high school students. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a doctor. I want to be this. I want to be that. Everybody has a dream on what they want to be. And I asked them, do you believe that you can do that? Do you believe that you can be a fireman? Do you believe that you can be a crane operator? Do you believe that you can be a nurse? And they say, yes, I believe it. I believe it. And I said, well, let me tell you something. Your belief isn't going to do it for you. How about that? Just because you believe you could do something doesn't mean it's going to become reality. I believe I can go to the moon. So my belief means nothing, right? Belief without commitment. You see, it's commitment. Let's say belief is the cart that the horse pulls. The horse is the commitment. The cart is the belief. The belief just sits there until the commitment pulls it along. You follow me? You must commit yourself to doing something. That means not hanging out on the streets with your friends, not sitting on the computer all day doing nothing, watching TikToks. You must commit yourself to the goal that you want to accomplish. As I said, belief without commitment is the cart without the horse. It just sits there. The belief will just sit there until you commit yourself to doing something. Everyone could have these reasons on why they weren't successful, but human beings are a product of their decisions. They're not a product of their conditions. It doesn't matter if you came from Harlem, Brooklyn, the Bronx, if you came from the gutter, if you came from a poor family, if you came from a mom who was a crackhead. Did you hear what I just told you? People are a result. People are a product of their decisions. The decisions they make, not the conditions that they come from. I'll prove it to you in a way. I know a pastor, and he's a good friend of mine. He recently passed away, though. But he was very interested in what made some people successful and what made other people fail. He was very curious by this, why some people made it in life and why some people failed. So he went out and spoke to people on both levels of the spectrum. He went and spoke to people that were very successful, and he spoke to people at the bottom of the barrel, people that were struggling, homeless people, people that had no jobs, people that couldn't support their families, right? And he asked those people that were at the bottom of the barrel, how did you get here? What landed you in this position? Why are you in this position? And they said, well, my mom was an alcoholic, or my dad left me when I was a kid, or I was sexually abused as a child, or, you know, my dad beat me and it was a very dysfunctional household. And and he listened to all these reasons that these people had for being at the bottom of the barrel. He listened to all these excuses that these people had for being at the bottom of the barrel. And he understood it, because those reasons and those things can be very traumatic and have a lifelong impact on someone. And then he spoke to people at the top of the chain. He interviewed people that were extremely successful. He actually got to talk to Warren Buffett and Donald Trump. He spoke to, and whether you like him or not, he's extremely successful. He spoke to people at the top, CEOs of companies, CEOs of just very successful people. And he asked them how they got to that position. How did you get here? And the people were saying, listen, I went to school, I educated myself, I had a goal, I was determined, I worked hard. And he said, after listening to these people, he said, yeah, but you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. That's why you got to this position. And half of these men looked at him like he was crazy. He said, you think because I'm successful, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth? I went to 8 years of college, 10 years of college. Or another one said, I dropped out of high school and went right to work 7 days a week, 16-hour days, working my butt off, focused on a goal. And the point of this story was, at the end, the pastor realized something. He realized that the people at the bottom of the barrel all had excuses. They were all looking backwards. People at the bottom of the barrel were looking backwards when people on the top were focused on the future. And that was the conclusion that he came up with, is that successful people focus on the future. And people who are failures constantly look back into the past and use the past as reasons for not progressing in their life. And so I say that to tell you that no matter what position you're in, no matter what situation you were in, no matter what you came from, you have to focus on the future. And it's never too late to change. It's never too late to change. You have to live on principle, right? Principle is something that's on the inside of you. Principle is different than pressure. You see, pressure busts pipes. Did you ever hear of that saying, that pressure busts pipes? Peer pressure. People put pressure on you. You may be young and all your friends are doing this, so you feel you have to do it. All your friends are smoking weed, so you have to smoke weed. All your friends are going out drinking and partying and doing dope and slinging drugs, and you feel like you got to do that too. That's the pressure. The pressure is coming from the outside. That's all pressure coming from the outside world into you, right? And pressure, as I said, busts pipes. Pressure is really strong, right? That's what they call peer pressure, right? But you got to stand on the principle. Pressure comes from the outside. Principle comes from the inside. And your principle is, you know that you need to do right. People think peer pressure just affects the youth. Adults succumb to peer pressure every day, all day long. The President of the United States succumbs to peer pressure. I'll have to give you an example so you understand. And it doesn't just mean this president, any president. Let's say they want to make, and I've spoken about this before, let's say they want to make marijuana legal. Before they were making marijuana legal, they want to make marijuana legal. And they go to the president and they put the bill in front of the president and they say to him, listen, sign this bill so we can make marijuana recreational legal for everyone to use. And the president says, I'm not going to do that. I don't believe in that. I believe that marijuana is a drug. I don't believe it will be good for society. I never did it. And, I wouldn't want my children to do it. And so they say, okay. And the president refuses to sign the bill. And then 6 months later, they put the bill in front of him again and say, listen, Mr. President, you really need to sign this bill. Let's make it federally legal. Let's get it out there. And he says, no, I've spoken to you about this before. I'm standing on my principle. I'm not going to do that. And then they come to the president a year later and say, listen, Mr. President, if you don't sign this bill, you will not get reelected. The majority of the people want this. The majority of the people want this, and it's a big voting issue. And if you do not sign this bill, you will not be reelected. And the president signs the bill. The president caved in to the peer pressure. Those are his peers. He caved into the peer pressure. He abandoned his principle, and he caved into the pressure. No matter what you do, youngsters and adults, don't cave into the pressure around you. Don't do it. Stand on principle. This is very important. You can do whatever you want, believe me. When you talk about something, it's just a dream. When you plan for something, it becomes possible. And when you take the actual steps, it becomes reality. That is so simple, man. That is so simple. I didn't say it would be easy. Life is difficult. Life is a series of problems. Everyone has problems. You could moan about them if you want. As they say, more money, more problems. Life is difficult. And what happens is a lot of people, when problems come into their life, when difficulty comes into their life, if you know you want to do something and you want to accomplish something, you want to become something, but you say, oh my God, I got to go through this in 4 years of school, and I got to take this class, and I'll have to volunteer time, and this is really difficult. A lot of people run from problems. You're getting divorced. My wife is leaving. My husband's leaving. This is a problem. Problems in life. People want to run from the problem. People turn to drugs instead of facing the problem. People act out sexually instead of facing the problem. People do anything to skirt around problems. And when you skirt around a problem, you know what happens? You avoid growth. You don't grow because you avoided the problem and the pain. Successful people, let me tell you something. I'm going to use him as an example again, whether you like him or not, because he's a good example for what I'm going to explain to you. You think Donald Trump doesn't have any problems? That man wakes up, even before he was president, as a businessman. He wakes up and he gets 50 problems from his secretary thrown right in his face. They said, Mr. President, you didn't get the permits to build this building. This person fell on your property. He's suing you for $30 million. Your daughter got in trouble. She's in the media. Your son's in trouble. This one, right? He gets nothing but bombarded by problems. But a guy like him, you know what happens? He feeds off of them. He attacks the problem. He lives for the problem. And that's why he's so successful. You can't skirt around problems and turn to drugs and act out sexually and run away from the problem because you avoid the growth. Life is difficult. This is one of the greatest truths. And you can either run from problems or you could attack them. I don't know. I'm sorry I'm talking so much and running my mouth, but I want you guys to live right. I don't know what the meaning to life is, right? There is no meaning to life. There's been one of my favorite books is written by Viktor Frankl. It's called Man's Search for Meaning, right? It is my favorite book. My favorite movie is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. My favorite book is Man's Search for Meaning, right? I don't know why that's irrelevant information, but I don't know what the meaning to life is because there is no meaning. Your meaning is different than mine. My meaning is different than my neighbor's. The neighbor's is different than the person across the street. Your meaning is different than your mother or your father's or your brother's. Everybody could have their own meaning. And I say that to say this. You know how you find your meaning in life? You tell me something so much. You tell me something that you love so much. Something that you love doing. that you would do it for free? What do you love so much that you would do it for free every day? Is it painting? Is it woodwork? Is it cleaning? Is it gardening? Is it fixing things? Is it building things? It could be one of a million, 10 million things out there. What do you love so much that you would do it for free? If you give me that answer, if you find that answer inside of yourself, then find a way to get paid for doing just that. And you will find true happiness. You tell me something so much that you love it so much that you will do it for free every day, and then find a way to get paid for it. And you'll find happiness. You'll find peace. You'll find your meaning. My meaning, I would say, and I'm in my 50s, I still have trouble searching for it and find. I think my meaning would be helping youth, helping people avoid a life of pain, helping kids make the right choices and decisions. That's something I would do for free every day. Working with dogs is something I would do for free every day. And so what I've done is I've gotten myself 6 dogs, and I started a YouTube channel where I try and help people understand the life of pain that I lived can be avoided. This is truth. This is truth. You know, I don't know how to, pardon me, let me have a sip of my soda. The best chess, I'll end with this little story. The best chess player in the world. He was asked by a news reporter, what is the best chess move you could ever make on the board? He said, there's an old saying that chess is like life. He says, as the best chess player in the world, there's no such thing as the best move. Because every time you make a move, the situation in front of you changes. Then your opponent makes a move, and the circumstances have changed. And now you have to think about what is the best move for the situation in front of me at this moment, because the situation will change again in the next moment. And that's how chess is like life. You make the best move you could make for the situation that you're in right now. Did you see those videos I showed you of where people were standing in front of that judge? 50 to life, 25 to life, 15 to life, life without parole. I never thought it was going to happen to me. The son of a cop, the grandson of a police commissioner, a grandmother who was involved in politics. It can happen to anyone. I pray that you guys live right. I pray that you do the right thing. Please, if you are using drugs, get yourself clean and set a goal for yourself. Focus on life. Don't be a chicken. Be an eagle. You know the difference of a chicken and an eagle? When a storm hits, a chicken looks for cover. He looks to bunker down. He looks to go under a shed, under a barn. And the storm beats him and wears him down as he's taking on all the rain and the wind. That's what a chicken does. But an eagle, he flies right into the storm. He flies into the storm clouds. He rides above the storm clouds, and he lets the storm take place underneath his feet. You guys can do it. I love you. Stay focused. I'm sorry for talking so much, but my channel is just not about telling prison stories. The main goal is to keep you out of prison and keep you out of a life of pain. Let me wrap this up. You guys take care.